Hello and welcome to the Elevate Show. You know how we do every single Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. We're here with a gripping, beautiful, enlightening story. And of course, I'm not alone with the one, the only, Benjamin Zulu. And today the conversation starts a bit different if you're looking at the set, yeah? Of course, we're at Novotel. Where else would we be if not the Novotel at Westlands? And our guest is here with us today from the beginning of the conversation. So karibu sana, Mr. Musungu. Lovely to have you on the show. The conversation today, Zulu, is a 10-year-old who the place he calls home is not safe for him. Struggles begin. You start fending for yourself at that age. By the time you hit 10 years old, 11, before your teen, your life looks like it's already been set for you. It's struggle. And you only have you at that tender age. What do you do? How do you look at life? How do you recalibrate and find hope? Or even reason to show up and wish or even think for something better, because that is the story of Mr. Marvin Muzungu, who's joined us today. And asante sana for sharing your story as well. And we'll get to it in a bit, but just to set the scene and Zulu. And I know sometimes when you talk about such things, you go back to your own, your own life and how you grew up. But, take it away.
And this is a very important junction. By the way, you guys look good. Although you color coordinated and left me out. I think you used telepathy. Next time I'll try telepathy.
There's a lot of greatness here.
So
yes.
I think Mikali, it's unfortunate when a child is left in the world without support. It's very unfortunate to imagine a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old trying to look for their own food and shelter. It's unimaginable. It is too emotional to imagine it. But since many of us have to deal with it, I gave you the two categories of orphans in Africa. The charities that run in Africa have two categories. They call them orphans and abandoned children. They are children who don't have care of parents, although the parents are alive. Yes. And they are equally as desperate as the orphan. So when you find an abandoned child, because they don't carry that tag sometimes of an orphan, they may not get enough sympathy because parents are alive somewhere, but sometimes they don't care or they are not present. And the whole saga going on nowadays of stepchild, the Mwikalis who are saying, if the man is not coming, just get a child. So you get a child.
I know. Mwikali was just chilling.
You get a child before you go into the marriage. When you finally go into the marriage, that child does not fully belong to both of you, belongs to you alone, but they are not. And I told you, when it's a boy, the repulsion is usually severer. So we have many cases today of children who are ambiguously abandoned. And I'm told for those who work with street families, stepchildren form a very high percentage of street families, not just total orphans. Yeah. Those who are rejected and could not be accommodated there, or they were left with grandparents who aged, and now the child is nowhere. Mwikali, let me tell you, it's glad to see that our brother is here having navigated such unthinkable chaos. But I have two things to tell you about.
Yes.
I saw Luke 1 when Simeon, that old man, received the baby Jesus with Joseph and Mary, and then he spoke things. You had been waiting for this moment before he dies. Those people who cannot die before they finish what they were doing. Yes. But then when he's pronouncing the child, he said, this child was born for the rising and falling of many in Israel. And then telling them, this child will better your life, you shall be significant now in the history of Israel and forever. But then he added a sentence that I don't hear them preach about it. A sword shall pierce your heart also. Inside there, you are trying to bless me, and now you added a sentence there. Yeah. A sword will also pierce your heart. It told me those people who have great callings, those people whose path is intertwined with a nation, intertwined with a generation, intertwined with a clan, They're supposed to raise the first healthy family. You know, in our online discussions recently, I was telling people the first sign that you are meant to change ancestry, storylines. You are a transitional character. You have been an actor, and you know the transitional character who changes the direction of the narrative, who arrives to bring, maybe to start conquering the villain, or just to bring a relief.
Yes.
So if you are born to change the story, the first sign is that what comes easy for others, for you is a fight. Children who are sheltered, loved, you are not loved. Many of us, we had food and shelter at home, but we also hated. There was a sword of hatred, mistreatment, and discrimination. I've had clients tell me, my mother to this day curses me by her womb and her breasts. My mother.
Oh, God.
She tell me, my father still curses me every morning, I don't send money. There are people who have had a dagger into their chest by hatred, rejection of their family. And I was telling them, I'm sorry to announce to you. That's not a sign of a curse. Many times it's a sign of a calling. Many times in the energetic space, because you rise up from childhood, you are different. You know, you get used to who you are until it doesn't click, okay?
Yeah.
You're just yourself, eh?
Yeah.
But even when you are seated like this, you think differently. You don't just run around, sleep around. If as I talk, you can relate from boyhood or girlhood, primary school, you had no interest in pettiness. Or life did not give you the privilege to have girlfriends or smoke this or the other one. It was not an option for you. You were plunged into the deep end of life too early. You had no taste or flavor for what pettiness of the village. And somehow you could not have a word for it, but you felt different. That is really the first sign. What I hear with Muzungu here is that although it looked catastrophic, many times after I have studied people change history, they have a story that gave them either life or death. They had to either fight their way out or drown.
Yes.
And when they were impossibly young, they also receive unlikely help. Strangers who you don't know, they hold your hand a little bit, disappear. Some angel people kind of thing. When you're about to give up, they pay the exam fees and disappear. Next year you grind. When you're about to drop out, something happens, it is paid.
Yeah.
You know, Mikali, when I was in secondary school, this is too vulnerable, but I can tell you, I was not sure I would sit KCC. There was no school fees. Every year that finished with me being in school, I would go to a particular spot in the field. I can show you that spot today. At night when nobody's watching me, to tell God, thank you, I finished Form 1. Thank you, I finished I can't believe it, I'm in Form 3. You know that people are just reluctant. The parent is pushing them to study. The fees is paid. They wanted to go and educate themselves. For me to even be in class, I would go and read the list of bursaries. I would go and read whether I've been remembered, whether something has reached me. And then when kids close school, I beg the teacher, me and I thought I was alone. I realized I was not alone. I beg to just remain. It's easier to remain in school. There is food and bed. At home, you are not sure of that. You know, just to tell you, I'm sorry that this brother had to go about that. But if you are hearing us and you're in that lost space, a voice is telling you, nobody cares, give up and die. No. Many times it's because you are a transitional character. Things cannot come easy to you because thousands, if not millions, after you will depend on you as the ancestor, as the beginner, to have stood to also stand. Pioneers fight twice. They are walking a path where there is no way. They make a way so that somebody behind them can follow. Pioneers fight twice. To educate themselves and then educate their children. To make their own living, then give their own. To learn, then teach. To earn, then give. If you are fighting twice, and while other people are cruising, you are barely making it. You're always 3% battery, almost collapsing. Almost. If you're in that category, I want to encourage you. I suspect, in all likelihood, your victory will set many free. And if you are born like Moses and war breaks out, people are being killed, you're hidden in a basket. If you are born like Esther and parents are dying, you're left with a cousin. If you are born and then like Naomi, you go down there, the husband died, the sons died. Some of these disasters, they suggest a difference in your pathway. It is very hard to see it when you're inside, but I want you to suspect that way. When I was told that possibly I'll come out differently, it gave me a glimmer of hope. To push on. And I was told, whenever you come to the Jordan, put your foot on the water, it will divide. One guy told me that. He told me, some of these you're waiting to be sure too early, and you cannot be that sure too early. Walk that stair that step. Sometimes when it's almost dark and you're walking stairs, you don't want to see the whole. You just want next step. If you're listening to us, This brother came to show you how he took one step at a time, unsure that you will lead tomorrow, unsure that you will survive tomorrow, and he's here today. Believe you are guided. Believe you are called.
Yes.
Believe there is reason. Cry when you must. Rest when you must. But don't quit. Don't curse. This Job was cursing the day he was born.
Yes.
Nothing changed. He cursed and the disease remained. You know, sometimes people tell you, like the wife of Job, curse God and die. He did not die. So sometimes you don't even die. So now that I've not died, can I live today? So just to tell you, Mikali, if you find yourself there alone, and you may not be a child, you may be a grown-up, but it is between rock and hard place. Today we are here to show you that take just a step for today. Yes. Take the meal for today. Try for today. Don't sit there and die. The leper said no footsteps, but they said, let's just tiptoe. We are risking death always, but there's a chance of survival here.
Absolutely.
I'm asking you, instead of sitting there and starving to death, there's a chance of talking to one person. There's a chance of texting one person.
Yes.
Chance of watching that show, maybe you may get an idea.
Yes.
Sometimes the hopes are so disappear, there's only one glimmer. Try it. You may be the next person, the Nelson Mandela who we needed. You may be the beginner of a new story.
Hey, amen. Amski kusema amen. Inaguza mahali. It feels like we should just close the show and go home. It's whatever we needed to hear to do. No, we are not. We're not. But it was such an encouraging space because most of the times when you're in the murkiness of things, you do not seem to think or imagine that there's something else that is ever going to come out of that. And even if it's coming out, probably not as beautiful as Mr. Muzungu's story, which we'll be hearing in a bit. But are you ready?
Yes.
Uko tayari kutupeleka huko?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to catch a quick break and then we'll be right back, so don't go too far. Welcome back to the Elevate Show, and we've started this show on a high. Kidogo hapa we were starting kuokota sadaka because Zulu hit the spot. But just taking this conversation on a personal level is Mr. Marvin Muzungu. Welcome to the show. And I know to look welcome earlier, but let's go back to 10-year-old Marvin. Left alone with relatives. You have to fend for yourself. You have to fight off things that are being thrown your way that you have no understanding of. How was that for you? Did you have siblings? What was the setup like?
Thank you for having me on show today.
Yes.
My name is Marvin Mzungu. I'm 34 years old.
Yes.
I'm the founder of the Prophetic and Healing Ministry. I'm a doctor. I'm an author of the book called The Fervent Prayer. And I'm also a psychologist.
Aha.
And that's why I've come today to share my story.
Yes.
So that someone out there may receive hope and find a meaningful and live a meaningful life.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. Marvin, as you have heard from Mwikali, I started my life when I was very young, at 10 years old. We started working in people's farms, that is harvesting maize.
Did you have siblings ama ulikuwa peke yako?
Yes. I'm from a family of 6.
Okay.
And I being number 4.
Okay.
We were the youngest by then. And then my other brothers and sisters were back in high school.
Okay.
Then because of that, this happened because my father and my mother separated.
Okay.
And the reason for their separation was because of the family conflicts.
Okay.
Family conflicts. And my mother could not withstand staying in that home. So the only option was for her to leave the home.
Okay.
Leave the family, leave the marriage. Then we were rescued. We were taken to our uncle's place. Mm-hmm. When we were living with our uncles, the life was unbearable. It was very hard. Because this time, we came from a family that was well off.
Yeah.
My father being a doctor, and my mother being a reverend by then. We used to have everything as young children.
Yes.
But then life changed immediately because now my mother had to leave and she was not able again to cater for us. This happened immediately because of their differences.
Yeah.
The main difference was that she was even afraid of her life.
Okay.
She was even being threatened to be killed by my uncles and my father, because my uncle joined my father now in threatening my mother. She now had to run away for her life.
For her life.
Now we found ourselves. It was even in the midterm. During our schooling, it was midterm.
Yes.
When we left school, we had not prepared to leave home, but here we have found ourselves out of our home.
Yeah.
Now we are at our uncle's place.
Yes.
We were there. We used to live. Sometimes my uncle never had a bigger house. He used to just have a small house, a muddy house. We used sometimes to sleep just near the door. That is where we could sleep, wake up the following morning, and go back to school.
Okay.
The life was very hard at that time. Because my uncle never had any job, any work at that time to feed 2 families. So we really used sometimes to survive on water, or either get porridge without sugar. Now the life was unbearable. At this condition, my mother, because she was being used to be paid some little money on a pastoral work.
Yes.
Now she was not being paid. Now she had to look for an alternative. Now the alternative was for us to accompany her to the maize farm back in Kitale, whereby we could go harvest about 5 to 10 hectares of land of maize. As you know, Kitale has very big lands of maize.
Yeah.
And she could be paid very little. So for her to get at least some reasonable amount of money, she could incorporate us. She could incorporate us.
Okay.
So whenever we could go to work, to farm, we could have an acre of land whereby we are tilling about 6 to 10 people.
Okay.
We were 3 siblings and my mother. Now we used to be paid 20 shillings for your line. You take your line to the end. If you don't complete, you'll either be given 10 shillings.
Wow.
And life was, because my mother had to do it with us.
Yes.
There was no way out for us to survive, because the brother could not be able to support us with meals. So she had to do everything possible so that she can also be supportive to his brother.
Yeah.
Now at this point, she is the one to pay our school fees. Now we had to assist her. The money that we are being paid from the farm, it should cater for our own meals, and cater for our school uniforms, and cater for our school fees.
Yeah.
So the life was unbearable at that moment.
Yeah.
At that moment, we used to cry. You know, it was a rainy season when we relocated to Kitale. At that time, there was too much rain. You know, imagine working in a land, in a farm, when there is rain.
Yeah.
Because farms in Kitale are being prepared during rainy season.
Yeah.
We could be rained on when we were working on the farms and paid little money. It was very frustrating. And because of that, we developed stress. We used to really perform well in school.
Yeah.
But at this juncture, our school life, our performance was affected.
Yeah.
We now began performing dismally. We were underperforming because waking up late because of the fatigue. We had no one to help us, because at this point my father withdrew his support from us. Withdrew now because of the advice from his brothers, our uncle now. You know, now we could not get any support from him.
Yeah.
From him. Now, going to school was a problem. Many of the times we used to abscond from going to school.
Yeah.
We used to stay at home. we could eat sometimes vegetables without cooking oil. That bitter herbs, that was the only meal that was available in our uncle's house. And this it made us to suffer. Me, together with my 3 siblings, it was very hard for us to survive. Very hard for us to survive. My mother, my mother got sick of depression because of sudden life change. She started becoming sick every day. No one to assist her, no one to help her. Now she used to go for medication every time, and this helped me. And I prayed. We used to pray when we were very young. We used to really pray and ask God, why are we going through this challenge? And we have a father and we have a mother.
Yes.
When we used to pray, this encouraged me to be a doctor. Then, because my mother's health was deteriorating day and night, I said, when I grow up, I want to change the life of my parents, the life of my mother, the life of those people that are sick outside there because of the family challenges. Now, the challenges continued day in, day and out, day in, day out. Challenges increased because at this point, my uncle felt tired of us. Now, he wanted us out. Then my mother now resorted that the only option she had was to take us back to our grandfather's home. So we moved from our uncle's place to our grandfather's home. There is again where we went through a lot of challenges. There were no meals. We used to sleep with sugarcane. We used to eat sugarcane. And during the harvest time, when the harvesting time came, there were no sugarcane. We used to sneak to people's farms at night when people are sleeping at night and there was rain, because you cannot steal when there is sunshine. When there is sunshine, they could be security walking around, people looking at their properties, their sugarcane farms. Then we used to time when they are sleeping at night. We could enter into the sugarcane plantation. Then in the middle is when we could get our supper. We could get at least sugarcane to have as a supper. Then that was our lifestyle. That was my lifestyle for about 2 years. 2 years of pain, 2 years of being rained on, no support, no help from anyone, and life was very unbearable. At this point, we had to go for mjengos. Now we had to drop out from school to go to do mjengo to assist our mother.
At this point, you're about 12 years old?
Yes. At this point, I was 12 years.
What are you lifting at 12? What are we doing at this mjengo? Because first, it's illegal.
We used to struggle because we couldn't see our mother dying. We couldn't just help her out in any way. But just the only option was for us to go for mjengo. Then look for a way we could lift the ballast, the cement. You know, by that time there were no these crowbars and all that. We used to go stairs by stairs. Even I can show you some of the houses we used to build in Kitale. And it was, sometimes houses could go to 5th floor, 4th floor. We are carrying the ballast up to the 4th floor. The life was not easy for us. My younger brother, there was a time she developed pneumonia, almost died. Because wherever I went out to look for mjengo, we could go with him. We could go with him.
So you're 12 and this guy is younger than you?
Yes. When I was 12, because for us, our mother, alituza haraka haraka. We are merely difference of 1 year. One year.
Yeah.
So at this point, amekuwa mgonjwa pia. He has to be taken to the hospital. No money to be taken to the hospital. When he was taken to the hospital, he was told, without money, you cannot be treated.
Yeah.
You cannot be treated. And He almost died, but by the grace of God.
Yeah.
When just as I said, we were praying. And whenever we could go out, we could pray. And I think because of the prayer,
Yeah.
my younger brother survived.
Yeah.
Right now, he could have died. My mother developed hypertension and depression because of hard life. Now, there was no one to help her. And then, but later on, she came and succumbed.
Oh,
She died because of the depression
how old
and
were you?
hypertension.
How old
I
were
was 15 years.
you? Those were really hard years.
Yes.
And so you've dropped out of school at this point.
Yes.
Uko Mjengo with your younger brother.
Yes.
What happens? Do you ever go back to school, and now that mom is no longer there,
Yes.
is that going to step in?
Yeah. Now, at this moment, I had dropped out of school. Now, no help from anyone, but because we were in my grandfather's homestead,
Yeah.
my grandfather had to go because he had no financial capabilities. He had to go and request for a place in the nearby school.
Okay.
Now I had again to change the
Yes.
school
Yes.
to my grandfather's place. Now he had to request the head teacher because they were relatives, so that I could be schooling while he could either bring maize or sugarcane.
exchange.
Either exchange. There was either him bringing food, maize or beans for me to continue schooling.
Yeah.
So he did, because he didn't have money.
Yeah.
He used to pay my school fees through maize and beans. And by that, I had to do go back to school, then did my class 8.
Where?
Did my class 8 in pain, in anguish. But by God's help, I finished. I passed so well.
Yes.
I passed so well. I got 302 marks. By that time, I was able now to join a high school. By God's grace, now after all this, my father was contacted
Okay.
when now I was to join Form 1.
Yes.
My father was contacted, and my grandfather told him that these children are your children. Now you either support them or you neglect them. But still, he couldn't support us. He couldn't support us. As I said, he had everything to support us.
Yeah.
But at this point, he could not support us. Now, my uncles joined hands and said, we cannot leave the children of our sister to die.
Okay.
We could do anything. You know, my uncles were not financially able. Now, some of them just have to go for this Vibarua, Mjengo also. Because whoever introduced me to Mjengo when we were young, it was my uncles. Now, they had to join hands, pay our school fees,
Okay.
little by little, until we were Form 4.
Yeah.
Now, my elder siblings had finished Form 4. Now they had to come to Nairobi to do kuuza hapa vitu hapa mjini. They were hawkers here in town selling chocolates zile za 10 bob and biscuits to pay for my school fees and my youngest brother school fees.
Yeah.
So the life was tough.
Yeah.
They used to do this wakijilipia colleges and also paying our school fees.
Na hata mali wanaishi pia.
Yes,
You know,
they
Nairobi
used
is
to
not
stay
easy.
back in Soweto, in Kayole.
Yeah.
But by God's grace, they used to do this because of their love for their younger siblings. Even with this, I thank God ya kwamba wakifanya hiyo kazi ya hawkers
Yeah.
hapa town,
Yeah.
waliweza kujipeleka mpaka universities. They finished, they graduated, and we have one who is a pharmacist, who is also a doctor. We have another one who is an engineer.
Hey.
We have another one who is a CEO with our own company
Yeah.
here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
God turned tables upside down.
Yeah, man.
And no one in our family has not graduated. All of us have graduated.
Wow.
All of us have gone to the university levels.
Yes.
And I thank God because of his grace and his mercies over our lives.
Oh my goodness. And this just confirms everything that Zulu talked about at the beginning of the show, that
Yes.
when the tribulations are that tough, then your destiny is definitely glorious.
Yeah.
It's definitely glorious. But just going back to just understand your mental state. Ukiwa ukifanya hiyo mjengo, ndugu zako wanajisukuma kabisa, baba hayuko kwa picture. Did you have a clear picture as that what it is that you want to be, to become? And, nini ilikuwa inakupatia motisha ya kung'ang'ana kila siku to, be better, grow yourself?
Thank you so much. I almost gave up. Because things were not working out for us. I felt sometimes, why only us?
Yeah.
Why could it happen so fast that everything is not working for us? Why is it that we are at that tender age? At that tender age, we pass through suffering and torture while we have parents. At this moment, I used to ask God in prayer. We used to pray. Even in this point whereby my mother could be sick, not even able to go and talk on our behalf at our schools.
Yes.
She could lead us into prayer. She could only show us that we only had one hope. And the only hope was God. Then we used to pray and cry.
Yes.
And really seeking God as a family. Despite the hard life, the hard situations, she always used to point us on God.
Yeah.
That we don't have any other person to help us, but God one day will remember us.
Yeah.
And we kept our hope so high.
Yeah.
And looking at the situation around us,
Yes.
I used to tell myself that one day we are going to change our home. We are going to change our families. We are going to change our other siblings' life.
Yes.
And also change the community at large. Then that one gave me the determination. Every time, hata kama ningekosa chakula, lakini ningefika shuleni, mwalimu alikuwa ametumark. Alikuwa amejua huyu ni mtoto wa mtu fulani.
Yeah.
Au anafikanga late kwa sababu ya shida wanapitia. And that God bless the class teacher.
Yes.
My class teacher by then. She was very supportive.
Yeah.
My mother went to her and explained to her what we were going through, and then she understood us.
Yes.
She accommodated us. Even when we had no school fees. Sometimes angesema tu watoto wengine wamefukuzwa, you come back to class.
Yes.
I will talk to your mom.
Yeah.
I'll talk to your mother. I will call her and tell her that we need the school fees.
Absolutely.
And she was really supportive.
Yeah.
She was really supportive. And right now, I'm working towards changing our community. By God's grace, I was able to, I've started 2 hospitals whereby we give care for the needy children around here in Kayole, Nairobi, and back in Kitale.
Oh my goodness.
We give people treatment for free and psychological counseling, and also advising them that it is possible for them to change their families.
Ndio nyota ilikuwa inajaribu kuniniwa. And just before we go on a break, Zulu, I'd just like for you to chime in on this story.
I didn't know the story when I told you the principles I've observed.
Yes.
And Mwikali, I think we should reach a place. I don't blame that woman. I just want to warn other women.
Yeah.
That people can get children with you. And when you become uncontrollable, When they cannot abuse you,
Yes.
they leave you to die.
Yes.
I'm glad, Mwikali. I really hope your plans flourish. You and other women who I see on screens making your star shine.
Amen.
And I'm glad that you are putting your flourishing first before putting yourself under funny authorities.
Yes.
Those who want marriage, I wish you well, but I don't want women to put marriage before their own survival.
Okay.
Because you are so connected to children, you cannot forget them the way men just walk away.
Yeah.
Sometimes the men don't even wait for the child to be born. The moment the pregnancy is announced, they vanish.
Yep.
It is very sad. But that woman could have survived if she had skills before marriage.
Yes.
Listen, you women, because we don't learn. There was a Christian gospel artist in Nigeria. To this day, we still enjoy her music. But we are so unfair, she was killed in domestic violence. You know the story.
Yeah.
But in YouTube, our famous stories, the comments are disabled.
Yes.
So that we don't question. We like to hush.
Yes.
Those women, his mother, my mother was also in a very bad fix at some point. Those women were so capable, so talented. But the moment they tried to raise their head and get options, you know, money means options, means freedom,
Yes.
means ability to live by yourself. Some men want control, not connection. They cannot stand you being able to breathe oxygen, being able to see life and feel life and talk and show up in the world. They want dominance. They don't want connection. That's why I tell daughters, listen to me. You won't die for lack of a man, but you can die for lack of money. Get money. Get money. The Bible itself told you money answers everything. Life is a question. Clothes are a question. Shelter is a question. Don't get a child you can't raise without that man. Don't get more children that you can fend for yourself.
Yeah.
The moment you have one child and you know, in case this man dropped dead or his love dropped dead, men don't need to die now. He told you, he did not say the father died.
No.
You know what happened.
Yes.
He just
Yes.
vanished. The moment a man is telling you, let's add a child, do your own mental mathematics. Should something happen and I'm with these children you're asking me to add, am I able to fend for them?
Yeah.
And Mwikali, I want, even when you're in love, I want you to have what we like to call with my wife, the devil's advocate conversations. In the worst case scenario, now that we have these children here,
Yes.
should we fall apart because of madness? Where will these children go?
Yes.
And we already agreed.
Yeah.
There's no, once you get a child, you are committed. There's no saying, I don't want you to go away with the children. These children are innocent. You know you can get a replacement of me. These children can't replace me. Children can't get another mother. It is unfair. We get children, then we fall apart, you go this way, I go this way. By the way, the perimeter within which you can build, we already agreed. You can't go more than 1 kilometer. Even if you're marrying somebody else, can you live over there and me over there? Children in the middle. You can't pick, you take square pick until they are out of our hands. After we get our children, there's no room to abandon. Mwikali, let's make it illegal, impossible to abandon children once we get them. And the women, I want to tell you, even if the men can walk away, make sure you have skill that you can sell to the world. Some say, he provides everything. That statement is so annoying. You know, he provides everything. Don't lose your ability. Yeah. I'm so sorry this brother had to go through that. Yes. But I want to tell you, a sword shall pierce your heart also when you are created to start hospitals,
yes,
rescue lives, yes, when you are called. You know, they see the star, baby was born, and they see the star before it even manifests, and they're running to kill the child. I just want the story of Mzungu to encourage us that whatever happened, you could not control it. Just keep that glimmer of hope. Keep that hope alive and keep trying. Who knows how many other children's lives are tied to you? Absolutely. I just want you to know, dogs don't bark at rats. If you're hearing dogs barking that you don't get educated, dogs barking, parents falling apart, I don't want to make this brother feel guilty. But I just want to tell them, it was not the parents who were fighting. It was their futures that were being fought. Once I saw what was going on, I feel sorry for my parents. There are children you get and hell breaks loose. Yes. Because of what they carry, the light, the future. You can see it, but when you look in retrospect, the battle was about these destinies. Mwikali, I just want you to suspect that if your marriage is meant to come and become healthy, produce good children, produce happy life, it will be fought to the tooth. If your education will go and become a humane doctor, nowadays that's what we are lacking, not intelligent doctors.
Yes.
Humane people who can go out and start facilities. If that is your goal, it will be fought to the tooth. And I just want you to know, if you find resistance, is because if you overcome the resistance, there will be many who will be released. Keep fighting.
Aye. I have plenty questions, but I am sure the burning question that probably all the audience has is, how's the relationship with your dad? Right? But we're going to get to that after the break. So please do stay with us. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Elevate Show. And yes, I was right. There's eagerness from the audience to just have Mr. Muzungu answer some questions, and we're just gonna let that happen now. So we have the first question. Okay.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I'm Brenda Royal Glam. My question to you, first of all, congratulations. Conquering all that ain't easy. Yeah, like me, I can relate because I was orphaned at that age, grade 5. So I know growing up with that environment is not easy. But we thank God for what we are today. My question to you is, mwekali ni kama nisoma akili.
Yes.
Like your dad, since you left your dad, you and your mom, have you ever met? Ashai watafuta, kutaka kujua what happened to you guys? Sorry to ask this, but during the burial of your mother, did your father even appear? Like just to show remorse? And like right now, mpatane na your dad. If after all mshaipatana, can you forgive him and just let things go?
My answer to you will be, the Bible says, forgive one another. We happened to meet with my father during my graduation. He came on my graduation day. And at that moment, he asked for forgiveness. We talked well. And since he's a father, a biological father, we forgave each other. And now we are forging ahead. Yes.
Mother's burial?
When my mother passed on, he did not come. He sent his brothers to attend the burial because he was afraid of his life and threats from my uncle's side.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's the heaviness I am feeling inside when you talk about forgiveness, and the day that he chose to come is graduation day. So you're already like, yani, maisha ishaanza kukua poa. You know what I mean? It must have taken a lot of God, because I don't think it's humanly possible to just do that without the grace of God on your life, to just be able to forgive. And so, okay.
And you know, Mwikali, just a quick interjection.
Yes.
The late Lucky Dube, I was not a big fan of reggae, but I know 2 of his songs, and they're the most popular. The 2 songs he was talking to his father.
Yeah.
The first song was, Daddy, wherever you are, remember me.
Yes.
Since when you left, Mom died of heart attack when she heard that you were married again.
Yes.
I tried to look for you, but the woman you're married to was, now you know I know this one.
Yes.
Was not kind at all.
Yes.
Running up and down streets of Soweto. A very sad song. One of
Yeah.
the deepest longing is a father, a child crying for the father.
Yeah.
The father, did he hear? No. Went on frolicking with other women.
Yeah.
Lucky Dube found his way, and like doctor, he had his life.
Yeah.
Then later, when he has graduated, the father resurfaces looking for him.
Yes.
When now he needs support. Lucky Dube releases another song. You know where to find me. So he said, you know where to find me. If you want to talk, I tried to look for you those years. You are not available. Now I don't need you. I have adapted to life without you.
Yeah.
You know, he says, you go leaving women crying everywhere. I have sisters out there. I don't know them. I have brothers out there. I don't know them. You leave hearts crying everywhere. Now you're looking for me. You know where to find me. I have adapted to life without you. I'm not saying we don't forgive, but I'm saying forgiving does not always mean reconciling.
Yes.
There are people that if you return them to your life, you're giving them another bullet because they missed you with the first.
Ha.
If you left me for the dead, and even my mom died, you do not care whether I lived. It's okay that you found your way, but I'll leave you to God. I will forgive you, but I don't want you in my space. Just to say,
those are two different
sometimes
things. Yes.
your presence is a trigger. When I remember I nearly died, I was starving, stealing sugarcane, risking my life, sleeping hungry, crying myself to night, and you were somewhere feeding, and you could feed me. I think once people leave us for the dead, we should also assume they're dead, okay?
Yeah.
That's not revenge, that's just reality. I just want to close that chapter.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did not stone the old man or something. There's a place to tell parents, I'm glad, but I'll leave you to God.
Yes.
I don't have that capacity to rebuild after you scarred me that much.
Yeah.
I forgive you. I forgave you before you apologize. I can't carry you with grudges. That's too much free rent or space in my mind.
Yes.
Sometimes I forgive you to stop overthinking you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
just to say, this brother did the right thing, but I just want to encourage him so that you don't validate men abandoning
Yes.
and getting rewarded for abandoning. Don't establish that pattern that he can always come back after he abandoned you to the dead. I mean, your mother did not survive it.
Yeah.
Let people reap what they sow. Don't intercept karma. Let people reap what they sow. Whoever they left for, let them be there for you.
Yeah.
Should you die? My mother died. You will meet her on the other side. Sometimes it's not mercy. It's just you chose that way. God himself said, today I said before you life and death, I advise you to choose life.
Yes.
I'll forgive that mzee. Tell him, I wish you well. When I can send something, I'll send something, but we no longer have a relationship.
Yeah.
You are biological, you're a sperm donor who ran away.
Facts.
But I will not burden my heart because every time I try to take care of you, I remember a time you could have just given me 50 shillings to feed.
Yeah.
You could have sent maize flour.
Yeah.
And you could not even come to bury my mother. You could not even so much as show remorse. I don't need you in my life. I have your DNA, but you cut the relationship. Once you kill the relationship, thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have a next question.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
My name's Alenza. Thank you so much for your story. So my question comes there's somebody somewhere that I've tried my best to forgive that I can't. I've really tried and imekuwa ngumu. This man raped me when I was very, very, very young. I was not a lady, I was a girl back in primary school. And when I knew this man, I took the baby because I didn't want the baby. I took the baby to their compound or their whichever. This man took my baby, and I remember very well he held one hand and one leg to throw my baby to the well. By that time, I was 14 years. So the baby was around 6-7 months. This man has so many kids outside there. And I thank God the baby is now grown. He's a man. He's a man. If you see him, you can't say that this man he came from that.
Circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, now I'm married, have some kids. Akisikia mtoto wake ameprosper, akuje anataka mtoto ama anataka that. Venye tu Benjamin amesema. Pastor or mzungu are saying that I'll just forgive that man. Na nikikumbuka kwamba wazazi wangu wameteseka back the penye umesema Kitale, I could go to the farm and palilia one line nipate 20 shillings ya kusaidia my parents kulea mtoto wangu na bado ninaenda shule. Then nikafika form 4 nikaacha kupelekwa college because I didn't want to burden my parents wanisomesha na wasomesha mtoto. Wewe ukuje kwamba saizi mtoto amekuwa well off, unataka tusameane. Will that really happen?
I got answers, but I'll let the professionals. Yangu itakuwa ya mwili. Itakujibu bodily. Yo.
I think
Between the two counseling psychologists. Wajadiliane. Oh, Mzungu, you can go first.
Yeah.
I can go first.
Yes.
I feel your case. For me, forgiveness is not attachment. You can forgive
Yeah.
so that you can heal
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
And now, at this point, you will have to explain to your child what happened. And I think you can cut the ties between the father and your son. And you will have the peace as you raise this son of yours. When there's an attachment between you and the father, or there's an attachment between your son and his father, it will be difficult, very difficult for you
To move on.
to move on. But at this point, you forgive him for what he did and forge ahead. Focus, and everything will be well with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think to reference him, the Bible commands you to forgive, but not to trust. There's no verse that says you must trust your neighbor. It says you shall forgive.
Yes.
The verses does not say you reconcile. To forgive is a different story. Let's stop mistaking forgiving with reconciling, okay? We forgive for our own freedom.
Yes.
When I said a sword shall pierce your heart also, I did not know that some of us are still carrying that sword.
Yeah.
I don't know. Job, you should bring this girl's story next, isn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that she moved all the way from sexual assault. Me, I'm still stuck at sexual assault. That alone we carry. The man should be behind bars.
Yes.
But looseness of laws and the way communities would accept a goat as an apology when a girl has been defiled. I'm just sorry that you went through that, but I want to tell you something. When somebody has violated you sexually, there should be an anathema to your life. That person, anathema means an accursed thing. Any Catholics here? Catholics use that word a lot. Anathema is an accursed thing. You should not touch. If a person has violated you sexually, yes, you may get a child, and for you to be able to love your son without hating the rapist, you must sever the cord.
Yeah.
Cut off the cord. What I encourage you is to do the following. Understand that this man was not personal with you. He has many children. He has violated other women. This is not personal. I know it's hard to imagine it, but he's crazy all over. He has children all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just want you to see him as a cursed person or somebody just doomed, and pity him. Because he still carries the DNA of your son. You may not want to curse him to die tomorrow. I just want you to remove him from your heart and say, he was so addicted to sex and violation that I was just near. It was not personal. I happened to be close by when he was in his rampage. I just want to encourage you to, now that you have another husband who you're doing life with, congratulations on your resilience.
Yeah.
But this man needs a healed you. Your husband requires you to be able to open and enjoy life. When you are heavy like this, you are not receiving his love fully. You are holding back part of you, and I'm sure you know that. When a girl is wounded, she holds back.
Yes.
When a girl is wounded, she gives you only enough. When a girl is wounded, she interacts with you when the inner child is recoiled in a corner crying. I want you to do therapy. I want you to release. I want you to write letters. I want you to go and cast that man in therapy and throw him to God and get him off your chest.
Yes.
So that you can embrace your son and give him the Jephthah blessing. Jephthah was born to a concubine, not a legal child, but he was so gifted. The way he told us, he's now a mighty man. Jephthah was so gifted, he became a mighty man who saved the nation. Bless your son now. I want you to heal so that you can bless your son.
Absolutely.
I want you to heal so that you can tell him to go and conquer nations, to go and write a different story. I want you to heal so that this current man who forgot your past and gave you a chance to write a new story does not continue being bled on, and he did not cut you. This man has embraced you. Give him a healed girl. Do therapy for your husband. Do therapy because of your son. Do therapy because of who you are. Release that man. If you continue crying where he left you, you are giving him continuous influence over your life.
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yes.
When people knock you and you're bleeding and you sit there and you die there, you have continued their influence in your life. Sometimes healing is an act of revenge. Let me get over this, so that I cancel you out, forget about you, start a new life. Go start a new happy life. So that even when you remember him, you almost feel nothing. You say, if God allowed it, and at the end of it, it has given me a good life, it's okay. It's okay. I just want you to know that there is another life. Move past that man. Forgiveness does not mean saying what he did was less. No, it was offensive. But I can't continue remembering him. I want to forgive him and leave him to God. Yes.
Absolutely. I have gotten the signal that our time is up for questions. That is all the time that we had. But as we conclude this conversation, you can see what your story has just done to the audience that is in here, and you just being able to share your journey, your struggles, and how you've overcome is such a huge step towards healing and elevating lives, which is why we're here. But what would be your parting short, a word of encouragement as we come to the end of the show?
I want to encourage the viewers
Yes.
that there is hope. Today, whatever that you're passing through does not determine your tomorrow. There is your tomorrow. Keep focused. Always pray. And work hard. And always be determined for your future.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Zulu, as you give us your parting shot,
Yes.
please include, and you're that brilliant, the importance of holding on to something bigger than you as a sign of hope. Sometimes it's not physical people around you who are doing better that are encouraging you, but just having faith in, like God, how you're hopeful and you're holding on to something like that.
That's true. Viktor Frankl was a survivor of the concentration camps.
Yes.
He was a Jew who watched people being killed. And while he watched all of it, he wrote a book. You should read it, called A Man's Search for Meaning. Okay. And he said, when pain has no purpose, it becomes suffering. When pain has a purpose, it becomes preparation. Yes. I want you to know that whatever you went through and you watched death, watching a mother was victimized to death is trauma. Yes. It can twist you for a long time.
Yes.
But I want you to know, there is another girl called Esther who watched parents die in a land of captivity where they were minority and oppressed and hated. And she still continued to believe and hope until she delivered that community by becoming queen. Yes. Another woman called Ruth suffered deaths, her own husband, brother-in-law, father-in-law, and then left their women. They cried, but they traveled. Yeah. I want you to cry as you move. Oof. I want you to cry and then go. As you cry, don't sit there. Yes. Say, has this happened? It's okay. I believe in crying as you go. Sometimes you must be human. This brother is being strong today, but I'm sure he has cried a river. Yes. He just didn't stop. Yes. He just cry while reading, cry while preparing for exam. It's okay to lad up. I don't stop you from crying, my sister. It's okay you cry, but I just want you to stop. You understand? Yes. Don't stop. Cry as you try and build. Yes. Whatever happened to you, that tears will become one day somebody's triumph. What Mwikali is calling higher purpose is saying, I believe one way or other, my life will add up. Absolutely. When this story is told after my chapters close, they will connect dots and see, because of this, Mwikali became this way. Because of this, became this way. Just know there's a purpose, and I want you to tie it all together by saying, I may not understand it, but I believe it. When all is said and done, I will say everything worked for my good.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Daktari. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for an amazing show. Audience, Toandugu. Tunaanzia side gani? Thank you for always showing up. Special thanks to Novotel for hosting us. Thank you for tuning in and always choosing us every single Wednesday evening. Until next time, adios.